Hello, friend. Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, California. And as always, down in San Diego, California, is my co-host and good friend, Dennis Bithoulkas. What is up, man?
Is it real or is it not real? We don't know.
We have no idea. But man, are those some good ribs.
Yes. They might be grown in the lab, but I don't think ribs like that have ever existed in time beforehand.
Nice little Matrix shout out there. Another great episode from a great TV show. This is just getting awesome. I mean, usually we were just dealing with the Gifted, even with a shorter season, which is still a good show. It's nowhere near Mr. Robot or anything, but Mr. Robot, I know you disagree with me in season 1, but Mr. Robot does not have lame episodes. Okay. It doesn't have, time killing episodes. It doesn't have episodes that are just filler.
They're all set up. Yes.
Yeah. There's nothing. Everything means something. Everything leads to something. And, at this point at season 3, we're at episode 4, by the way, just to explain how I title these shows on our recaps, I just use the root title because I don't want to throw that code up there because I just think it would, I don't know how people search this anyway. I just think it would be screwy. But if people think differently, let me know, and I'll go ahead and put the real episode title, which is EPS 3.3 metadata spelled with the 3 backwards part 2. All that code stuff. Yeah, this show I still don't entirely know what I'm watching, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it, man. I don't know if there's a good person in this show, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. We start out with Darlene, and we, you notice we haven't had a lot of our main. It's been kind of a slow burn. I thought this was going to be a faster paced season, but we've really just been focusing on Elliot. And then last episode, we went back in time and caught up with Tyrell.
Yep.
Which was a really great episode. And we started with Darlene, who's got just tons of guilt. She's just feeling guilty for right now. She's setting up her brother. And she feels bad for, she's walking around and you're seeing society, like you're seeing entropy. It's seeing devolve, very slowly. Like you pointed out last recap, is like happening in a very real sense. And she's just feeling tons of guilt. I don't know, man. How do you think our friend Darlene is doing, Dennis?
Well, you got to remember, she killed somebody. She had never done that before. She had to take the reins of F Society because Elliot disappeared because he went to prison, which she didn't know. I don't think he ever told her that, did he? He's never told her that he went to prison.
Didn't she come and visit him?
Actually, she might have. Okay, never mind. I take that back. That's right. I think she was the one who actually picked him up, if I'm not mistaken.
She picked him up.
She picked him up from jail. So, okay, never mind. That was a brain lapse there. But yeah, she's, all her friends are gone. She can't contact anybody. The FBI is, basically using her to get to her brother. And she's screwed. No matter, the Dark Army's hunting her. She's screwed no matter what she does. And she wakes up on the train and sees that her wallet is gone. And of course, Darlene, the social networker that she is, or, a social hacker, if you will, she looks around the train and knows exactly who took her wallet and walks up to her and tells her exactly, you're the only one. Everyone else is tired. It's the end of the day. People are falling asleep and you're the one who's jazzed and wired, trying too hard to look like you're not. So give me the wallet. And all she does is take out the Polaroid. That's all she wants back from the wallet is a Polaroid. And then she tells the girl who stole it from her, you stole from me, but I stole from you first. And I see the old lady knitting over there. I stole from her. I stole from that guy. And she basically just tells this person that she's never met before on the train what she's done, that she's responsible for the entire hack that's brought down society, that she's killed someone. just kind of unburdens herself
Yeah,
as much as possible, and then walks off the train and goes, "This is my stop," and walks away. I
that's
was like,
me.
yeah.
I'm working on my Darlene impression too. She talks with her like lower mouth out a little bit, like this, like she's from the
Well,
valley.
I remember her when she was in the show Suburbia, which is a great show, by the way, where she,
Oh, dude, that's where I know her
yeah,
from.
yeah, she
Oh, I
she was
didn't
the
even
next door
make that
neighbor.
connection to that.
Yeah,
That's right.
where she did a great job of playing just this really deadpan kind of, and she does it every now and then. She brings it back into Mr. Robot. So it's kind of interesting.
I
And this
think
was,
that's just if you see interviews with her, I think that's just how she is. Um, yeah, she's really great though. And again,
Carly Chaikin is her name.
I feel like sorry for her. I don't want to root for her though, because she's writing out her brother. Although we're it's clear now that Mr. Robot and Elliot are two completely different people. Now the question is, are they two completely different people, or are they just Elliot having multiple personality disorder or syndrome,
Well,
whatever it is?
I think the telling aspect is throughout this episode, um, when Elliot and Darlene are talking, and she goes, "Well, how will I know it's you?" And he said, "I'll tell you, it's me." And she says, "Okay." And then later on, Mr. Robot and Angela, when they're together, she goes, "Well, how will I know it's you?" "I'll tell you, it's me," is what he says to her as well. So both of their confidants, they're both telling them, "I'll tell you, it's me," and they look them in the eye, kind of thing, and it's very kind of creepy. They're both the same but different.
And remember that, and it was Angela who identified Mr. Robot, I believe. Correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong, because Elliot could not look her in the eye. So,
Exactly.
but Elliot's a little more confident now, and he's gaining more control. But we also have to trust the writers and the creators of this show, because they could be showing us Mr. Robot, and I mean, I think that would be mean and that would be kind of cheap, but they could do that. We could be seeing Mr. Robot and actually seeing Elliot. They were doing that the whole first season,
Yeah.
and so they could play with us on that one. And
Well, what I noticed this season, what they're doing is they're playing with the wording now in all the dialogue. So when Irving and Angela are at the Red Wheelbarrow, and Irving says, "You know how the boss is about timetables," when they're talking about September 29th, which we'll get to in a little bit here.
yep.
"She put a lot of faith in you," is what he says. And it's
Mm-hmm.
talking about White Rose and she. So obviously, White Rose and Zhang, two separate people again. And it's all about the language this season. We've been noticing this in all these other episodes. Remember last episode, there was something that I caught in the way it was said that was very telling. And it's in every episode. It's just the language now. Before, it was what we were seeing visually. Now it's what we're hearing. So it's very interesting what Sam Schmail's doing with this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that could be an idea. I can't see the character Irving being conscious of gender and being super politically correct and calling White Rose a she, unless he's scared to death of White Rose, which he probably
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
That could be a fact that he's just being respectful to, but also, I mean, like, he's in on the secret. I don't know how many people, like, say Zhang and White Rose are the same person, okay, which we can only assume right now. We're going down the rabbit hole with they're two different people, but right now, as the show presents it, they're showing us that it could be the same person. So when Zhang is White Rose, she is the leader of the Dark Army.
Mm-hmm.
How many people know that? I mean, she made a special trip to see Elliot in that little room in season 1,
Yeah.
which it seems like, you'd have to move hell and earth to make that happen, especially since White Rose is a government official, supposedly.
Yeah.
So, the only hint we've seen is when Dom was talking to Zhang in season 2, and he went and showed her his closet. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
With all the dresses in it.
and all the dresses. Now, you could go, well, there it is, that they're the same person, or he could just have a connection to White Rose, or he could just be really into collecting dresses. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go with that.
It belongs to my sister, is what he said.
Oh, that's right. That's right. See, so I mean, we're assuming that he's just lying to cover it, maybe. Again, we're trusting the writers of the show. Now, at face value, we're going to take it as Zhang, because they're played by the same actor. Zhang and White Rose are the same person, and he's just got two personas, kind of like Elliot does, although he's got way more control over his. Or we are truly dealing with two different people, and they are at this point. And let's not bury the lead. The biggest thing was the conversation I'm going to say it's very slow. Okay. The Red Wheelbarrow. So I don't munch it up. And the little Pulp Fiction scene where he's like lamenting over the ribs. And they're talking about speeding up the timetable to September 29th for stage 2. And Angela's like, damn, okay. And she asks a couple questions. She wants to make sure that nobody's going to die. For one. And then the second one was, she's just got to know, did she show you? Right. And he said, yeah. And then he said, what did he say? He talks
about technology. He goes, technology the way it is today, he goes, this rib is really good. And she goes, well, I'm not talking about ribs. And he goes, for all I know, this could have been grown in a lab.
Yeah.
He goes, but it's really tasty. And he goes, so, yeah, I saw it. And basically he's saying that anything's possible.
Anything's possible. He didn't say whether he believed it or not, or even hinted to what it is. But what I think everybody's going to take away from that is alternate reality of some kind, or there's either, what they talked about at the beginning of this season with that just little walkthrough scene in the nuclear lab, the guy leading the tour talked about hacking the mind. So it's not physically going through other dimensions, but it's able to maybe you can go through it through other people. So you're hacking either a brain or hacking reality itself, or both. You're hacking reality itself, but you can only access it through another person's brain. I mean, it's hacking. Right.
There was an article that came out fairly recently saying that the brain might have all these different realities within it. It was kind of a weird paper that came out. And so I'm wondering if Sam Schmale had actually read that and just kind of extrapolated a little bit from that.
I'm sure he did. He's read a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a ton of the I'm really into conspiracy theories. I don't necessarily believe them all, but I find them fascinating, and they use a lot of that. But no, I think they are. They're at first I thought they were going the whole like, this is this isn't real. They're like the Matrix thing. Like, this is all, we're all in some kind of digital simulation or something like that. But for one, recently disproven, but it'll be proven again in a week or so. And then I don't think they would be that. That seems kind of just basic. I mean, this seems deeper than that, and so I feel like that's where they're going with that. It's pretty obvious, but then, this is the kind of show that makes you think it's so obvious that they're going to do a left turn down the road somewhere. And I totally think that's coming, by the way.
I really hate taking those left turns at Albuquerque.
Yeah, I know. I always take the wrong turn at Albuquerque. When we drove there this year, I asked my wife, "You want to take a wrong turn, just for the hell of it?" Okay, so I think we're gonna get like a moment, kind of like, I don't know if anybody out there watched Battlestar Galactica. Great show. At the end of a season, they did a 1-year time jump that kind of blew everybody's mind. I don't think there's going to be a time jump, but I think there's going to be something that big, and I think there's been some Lost comparisons to this show, and I'm going to say hell no. I'm going to say hell no right now, because this show knows what it wants to be, number one. Yeah. And they would not do a show like this without knowing their ending first. JJ
Endgame. Yeah.
JJ Abrams even admitted, and who was the other guy who wrote it? The guy who's
Damon
Lindelof.
Yeah.
He's doing the Watchmen. They both admitted that they didn't have an ending in mind. They had an idea, but they didn't have an ending. Our friend J.K. Rowling, she had her ending for Harry Potter. It wasn't an exacting, but she had that thing written when she did the first book.
Yeah.
So she knew where she was going. And I think all good writers do that. So I don't think this is lost at all.
No, not at all.
I mean, it still could disappoint. I mean, that's totally possible.
Yeah, it is possible. I mean, Battlestar Galactica, for me, the ending was a bit of a disappointment. I know a lot of people liked it, but for me, it was just kind of like, really? But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that.
No, because, well, the thing is that we know with all of us people recapping shows and social network, it's got to be hard to get ahead of your fans. You know what I mean? Because they can piece stuff together. Because fans are smart, man. Fans are smart, and they collect information and they get excited about a show. So the thing that makes this show special is it keeps you in the dark about so much stuff while still entertaining you and not being frustrating. Because this stuff could easily be frustrating, and that's the sign of a great writer. I know I've said it every podcast, and I'll probably say it every podcast after this. Great writer entertains you first and foremost, and then this is the kind of TV that I like. And I know it's not for everybody, but I like I like. Oops,
started a group there.
Yeah, my microphone needs a blue pill.
It happens when you get older.
Performance issues,
from what I've heard.
I like putting the puzzle pieces together. A good mystery. I just love it. I know it's basic, but it's cool, man.
Yeah, no, it's a really good show, and I mean they're feeding you enough information where it's still keeping you interested and keeping you engaged in the story, without giving away the ending or giving away what's really going on. Like you even said, you don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on really, but it's fun. That's the whole thing. That's what keeps us going with this show. And I mean, like Mr. Nori, who the guy in the Woody Woodpecker underwear, who gets arrested by the FBI because he's the one that's making the new F Society videos, who's obviously been contracted out by the Dark Army.
Yep.
And Dom is interrogating him and asking him who is his leader. And when he brings up White Rose's name, he looks at her. That's the only time he really looks at her. And then finally he just says F Society is his leader. And I think he's going to have a little bit more to play in there. I don't know what, but I don't know. I just have this feeling it's kind of a weird throwaway, if you will, if you're going to bring him in.
Yeah, I think it was a way to bring it up and to see how the FBI sees White Rose is just a urban legend,
Yeah. They don't even know if she really exists or not. I mean, they know she exists, but they don't know who she is. If maybe it's just a moniker, if you will, like a login name or something like that, or if this is actually truly and shared by different people, or if it's actually one person who really exists out there.
And we don't even know.
Yeah.
we really don't know. That was that was just a big setup by the Dark Army. And then, speaking of Dark Army, we finally, Elliot confronts Darlene with in the safe house. And Dom, Dom is like the ultimate quick thinker. I mean, like she makes, I don't know, she's almost starting to, she's almost too perfect. I mean, I know she's a tortured soul, poor Dom. She's a damn good agent though. She walks out there and walks past Darlene and, tells her, hey, you're covered. Don't blow your cover, blah, 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 and Darlene goes in and Darlene, still plays it cool. And Elliot's figured it out. And he just wants to show Darlene something, and he's a little butt hurt that she wouldn't talk to him. He's got to know what's going on.
Well, she's also afraid of him too because of the last conversation. She was talking to Mr. Robot, and she goes, "How do I know?" That's when she asks him, "How do I know I'm talking to you and not him?" And he says, "I'll tell you, it's me."
And it also confirms that Mr. Robot is not their real father.
Yes.
unless their real father is just a total bastard. But it doesn't. I mean, just the past stuff doesn't look like he was. So I don't know. So this isn't their father. There's no way. So it's either a persona in Elliot's head or somebody hacking Elliot. I don't know.
Yeah, because we never got a
And
really good look at that Polaroid, which is supposedly a family snapshot. And so
I could see Christian Slater, but I couldn't see much else. I saw, the hat. I saw, it was very shadowy. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Um,
It's all these little tidbits that because of
Yeah.
the way it's shot and the way it's worded and things like that, he's giving us all these little pieces to the puzzle. And they all tie in later on because you forget about it. And then it comes back again. You're like, oh, that's right. I remember that now because he had that there.
Yep. So he gets Darlene, who did an 8-ball of Coke, but man, she must hold her Coke really well because she looked very mellow. I have never been that mellow. I'm sorry. I would have been that would have been the worst person to follow somebody if I was on 8-ball of Coke. Oh my God. A gnat in a pinball machine. So yeah, he wakes up. So they figure out that Mr. Robot's accessing him at night. So they go in the middle of the night. They go to Tyrell, and Angela's there. And Darlene is shocked to see Elliot talking to Angela, follows her down. Tyrell's having a hissy fit when he finds out that Elliot has been screwing up all their shipments, all these truck shipments that are supposed to bring all the paper records to one building so E Corp can rebuild everybody's credit and start collecting money again from everybody. And they somehow conned E Corp into doing it, into taking everything to one building. Now, Price has to be in on this, by the way.
Oh yeah, well, that's
because this will help the Bitcoin thing.
Yeah.
So Elliot disrupted all the shipments, and Tyrell did a Tyrell freak out session, and like he's done with Mr. Robot. So he doesn't think Elliot's a god anymore. So he basically, and then at that point, Mr. Robot strangles Tyrell and he starts blinking out. Now this was another thing that really sat out to me. And again, it could just be what it is on face value. It could be him having an episode, or it could be something else. I don't know. I'm really interested to hear what other people think on
that whole rack focus of him. Okay, now rack focus is where your character stays in frame and the background kind of elongates. And that's
what you're doing is you're pulling your camera back while you're zooming in, or vice versa. And
that's what we're getting with Christian Slater as he was blinking out, which to me, and I know I talked to Gary already, to him, we both thought it looked like he was being pulled back to his world, or maybe pulled back into Elliot's mind, or however it may be. But for me, it looked like he was getting pulled back to another world.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're hiding that less in this, and which I don't know. Does anybody not think that's cool? I think that is really cool to take it to this level, like a Twilight Zone level, which is just really awesome. And I would like this show if it was just everything on face value. I am totally cool with this show. But if they take it there, I am totally cool with that. So I won't be disappointed either way because it's so damn good. But yeah, that was the first thing, and then Angela had to
knock him out.
Now Angela's like really bought in. So whatever White Rose showed her, and or her hint to us, which came in season 2, but yeah, because she hasn't really been in. This is the first time she's really she's been in a little bit, but this is the first time she's fully shown up. She talked about wanting to see or taking away what happened to her mom completely.
Yep.
Or changing it forever. So talking about time travel stuff. It's interesting. So we see her motive. It's all about her mom, but Angela's, her character's taken, like, it is the weirdest turns. It's great, but you rarely see this in TV where you see the good-hearted person start just, I mean, you see it a lot, but like person you want to root for, and you still like feel like there's some good in there, but I don't know with her, and I don't know with anybody, to be honest with you. I think Elliot and the Elliot persona, it tries to be as good as he can, but
see, I think Darlene, for me, the whole scene with her and Dom in the bar, where she calls up Dom and says, buy me a drink. And, you start feeling like, okay, she's the one she's going for redemption now, is what she's going for, because there's nothing else for her to really lose anymore. So she's, except for her brother, of course, which she's already sold him out, and she knows, she's even told Dom, she goes, I have no social life, I have no friends, I'm selling out my brother, I'm not going to have him in the end either of all of this, so what the hell is there? And so I think that's her motivation for helping Elliot, trying to reverse everything that's happened.
Yeah, and it shows them for what they are. I mean, as much as we're all about truth and justice, she points out that while you guys are popping Cristal, like, my life will be over,
Yep.
And that was a real moment, and that got to Dom, because Dom actually does have a heart, and but
And a
she's
girlfriend,
still
we found
super,
out.
she reminds me of Clarice, I think she's a straight up Clarice.
Yeah,
but
Clarice and Kojak, those are the two people that he melded together for that.
Yeah, totally. Oh, with the lollipops, yeah. Right. She said she was done with lollipops, but she wasn't. She had one in the scene. Yeah, she was like, I'm so sick of lollipops, when they were interviewing her. It was funny. And she's a straight up like Burning Man hippie, by the way. It's funny. Oh, and Angela's real name is Portia. Does she look like a Porsche or what?
Yeah, she does. She has
That's a car. Name. That's yeah. Well, that's just, you got to be careful when you name. I won't say daughter. I'll say anybody. When you name anybody, because sometimes names are self-fulfilling prophecies. We'll just say. So yeah, that was a messed up little scene. So Darlene's hitting bottom, but she's not quite there yet. And no. I don't know. I don't
she's
buy for 1 minute.
She's
I mean, yeah, she could go way further. I don't think she'll ever sell out Elliot, though. That's the one thing I don't think. I think I think maybe she sees herself as saving Elliot at this point.
No, she knows that it's over with. I mean,
well, as far as like saving his life.
No, I don't think she even has that in mind. Tell you, I think all she's really wanting to do right now is to reverse what happened, and because she knows that all this shit's going to come down, that everything's going to come crashing down on top of them, and she, I think, has already set everything in motion, which we saw at the end of this episode, where she leaves the picture in Elliot's room in his apartment. Yeah. She's leaving. She's gone. She went to Budapest.
Or is going to Budapest. I don't know if she left yet. I saw her like looking at I was just wondering that, as musing, like that's maybe how she rationalizes it in her head, her betrayal to her brother. He's like, at best, he's going to jail.
Yeah.
At worst, he's going to die.
Yeah.
And I think she knows, I think she's pretty clear, especially since she saw Cisco get his head blown off. I think at that point she was like, well, we're going to effing die anyway. Yep. And if you really think it out all the way through, do you think that the Dark Army is going to want to leave them around, especially with a guy like Irving, hanging around, who is, I don't like everything. What's that actor's name again?
Bobby Carnival.
Yeah. He was in Vinyl. I thought I was going to love that show, and I ended up hating it. It looked like everything that was right about a TV show. Scorsese and just the music industry in the 70s and a bunch of drugs. I was like, hell yeah, sign me up. And it bored me. It was really weird too. Like a building blew up around him and he survived, and it was weird. And
that the whole thing with Irving talking to Tyrell, and Tyrell saying, okay, it's impossible for me to get this stuff done. And then Irving manipulating Tyrell, saying, well, you're both not gods, you're the god. You know, it's not Elliot. It's just because even Tyrell now at this point admits that he loved Elliot. That he was in love with him. So we got that admission. And then basically what Irving does to Wellick is he says, you need to get this done, because Monday, it needs to be done by Monday, because it's happening whether you like it or not. And Wellek basically says, okay, I'll do it, but me, Joanna, and the child, we need to go to the Ukraine on Monday when this is over with. And there's no extradition from the UK, from the US. And that's my price. And Irving, without batting an eye, goes, sure, I'll look into it.
Yeah. And he didn't lie. He didn't lie. But I mean, that's the one thing a sociopath to another sociopath knows is they know, just placate to their ego.
Yep.
You know, like you're the god, not him. And Tyrell's all, you're right. You're right. I am the god.
Not knowing that, and that's the whole thing, is there's also, I guess, still news out there that Joanna's in hiding, that no one knows that she's actually dead.
Yeah, well, that's the powers that be playing with this.
Yeah.
You know, we only saw Price for like a minute, and we'll double back to that scene real quick.
Yeah.
But we only saw we haven't seen tons of Price this season, and it was just Angela getting Elliot fired from E Corp because of I mean, obviously during the day he's just running amok, and they can't have him in there.
Yeah.
So and I guess she had to call him to get. I don't know. I
revoke it. Well, she said to revoke all his access, all his eCore access, which I think means everything, like his email accounts and all that stuff. That's the reason why she was calling Price.
Oh, so erase him, basically.
Erase him, essentially, so he can't do shit. It's
okay.
They're going hardcore with this on,
because I was like that they don't need to go that high up to fire somebody.
You got to remember, right now Price is just a puppet. He's Dark Army's puppet, and he is lower on the totem pole than Angela is at the moment.
He made some pretty hardcore demands. Now I'm sure Zhang is using him as a puppet. I don't see him as a puppet though, because I mean he was throwing some serious demands around to the White Rose. Now maybe he doesn't know he's a puppet, but
I don't think he knows he's a puppet.
I don't see it. I mean, he's got the president's ear, and as long as America is still a player, I mean, they got the UN to annex the freaking Congo, and we're gonna find out what the Congo's about too. Like, what's there? There's probably some. Did they mention it? Is there some mineral or something like that? I don't know if they mentioned it or not.
Well, Zhang, you got to remember, even says that he doesn't care what the hell happens with the Congo, whether they get it or not. They're basically going ahead with what's happening, and they're going to screw over eCore and everybody. So they already have their plan in motion, and it was just kind of a means to an end. So Price doesn't even know that he is being used as well.
No. And you know what? Both of these entities could be like, the thing they're doing could be good. We don't know. I mean, there could be a meteor coming to this reality, and they're going to blink I have no I'm just throwing stupid shit out there. But I mean, like, we don't know what the thing is. And that's what's great about this show. We have no idea what's going on, but yet we're discussing it. We know that Irving ate some ribs, that he enjoyed them. We know Darlene is feeling bad for screwing over his brother. We know Elliot might have 2, possibly more personalities. We have all these characters. We know Dom is a lesbian. We found that out tonight, and she's a very lonely one. We know that Flipper is crapping all over Elliot's floor.
And may have cancer.
We have all these people, and I ask you, the audience, and Dennis, who do you root for?
All right, now I'm rooting for Flipper.
Yeah, I have to agree that Flipper is what I'm rooting. Friends of Flipper, that's what we are. Flipper is the only like truly good character. The only other one that was truly good was Elliot's girlfriend, who died.
Yep.
She was the nicest one, and she was making her little art. She wanted to go straight, and then she died. And Craig Robinson's character too, even though he was running
he was evil.
He was pretty bad, actually. He was pretty bad. It was Craig Robinson's face, and it looks so nice, but it's not. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's like, I'm not rooting against anybody, but like, I don't know if we have a confrontation of White Rose against Elliot. Not Elliot. We'll say White Rose versus Tyrell. I mean, I know Tyrell's a little whiny bastard, but for some reason I don't want him to die. But I guess I'd have to side with White Rose on that one. And I am kind of like White Rose is kind of my favorite character.
Hey, I was going to ask you, did you catch that thing that Mr. Robot said to Tyrell about that's why I didn't shoot twice?
Yeah, I did catch that.
And that was I think.
But he chose not to shoot the second time. Remember?
Yeah,
like
I
he
know.
backed off.
I know. But the thing is, I'm kind of wondering if maybe that was all planned with the, with the gun being, and we had talked about this, that actually one of our viewers, I should say, commented about this, that it's not the same gun.
Oh,
that he was given a different gun. And that later on, when Tyrell was given the gun back, here you can have this gun back again. It was a very different gun. That was.
Oh well, yeah, well, it was from Irving, so I would mistrust anything coming from him.
Yeah.
And we have a Dark Army leader that's obsessed with time. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, I think it was planned. Yes, you've convinced me. I didn't even think about that, but
yeah, that you can thank one of our viewers. I'm sorry, I don't remember who wrote that up on our YouTube page, but I did comment back to it that it was a good theory, and we're bringing it up. Here we go.
Yes, we are. And I don't know if anybody is, but if anybody's commenting right now, we usually do the recap, and then at the end of the recap, we go through, and if there's any comments or anything, the only complaint I have a couple complaints about YouTube. Not many as other YouTubers. I know a lot of them have been whining lately. It's like, yeah, I think it's kind of fun actually, and the Google Hangouts is pretty cool, and yeah, the cameras could be better. I mean, the definition could be better, but it'll get there. And the monetization, who cares? I mean, we don't make any money off this stuff. But I wish that the chat questions would just roll over into comments, which I hope will happen someday. I wish, because there's some really good ones that we lose once we roll this over to a video. So that's a bummer. That's why we're going to go and check them out, and we will read them on the video, read your name and everything. And unless, of course, it's super insulting. It could be slightly insulting. That's okay. I don't mind. It's nothing worse than my wife said this morning. I don't know. Kidding. Married 14 years we've been, by the way.
Nice.
Last night. Yes.
That's right. I forgot.
I've known her for 35, married for 14. She is a saint for putting up with me. Thank you very much. Yeah. So
going back to the
anything else?
Yeah. Multiple use and creative uses of the word fuck in this episode.
Yes, they all deserve a Rory.
Yes, they do.
If you don't know what a Rory is, you know what a Rory is? In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a Rory is an award given for the best usage of the word fuck in a serious screenplay. This would win many of them. They're just dropping F-bombs on regular TV now. It's
there's at least 5 that I heard.
Yeah. Well, we don't see naked people anymore, so they got to do something adult. I don't know.
So no, I was having a lot of fun with that.
And if we, no, that was I am a fan of the F word. I use it often,
especially when I'm driving, especially down here.
On the road, you're a little road rager.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you are.
So should we go?
Aren't we all though?
That's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna let's before we take off here, let's head to the comments. You might hear me for a second. No, I am. Here we go.
Cool.
Don't worry about the code, man. Okay, I won't, because I don't understand code anyway. Our friend John Reed, who's a co-host, he for some reason doesn't like this show. I don't know why. But he does the other shows. He is a genius with this stuff, and that's what his I don't want to out his job, but he works in Hollywood, and he does something involved with metadata, and he is a genius with that stuff.
Metadata, before we go to the comments there, Elliot had a really nice little voiceover about what metadata is and how it can be used by hackers and whatnot. And I thought it was actually kind of a nice way that they worked it in to the episode.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good explanation. I like how they are they slowly poke at us. They go, "Don't share so much on Facebook, idiot."
Yeah.
But it's too late. I mean, it's way too late for me.
Yeah.
So. They're going to come and get me. They're gonna come and get me. Okay, so Marcel 2099 said, "Don't worry about the code. An awesome episode. I believe so." Creative type. I wasn't expecting Tyrell to actually turn on Elliot. He did that rather quickly, didn't he?
He did. But
That
remember,
was
Irving kind of pushed him too. Irving
yes.
had his hand on his back and was just like, "Here, go, fly, be free."
Yeah, Irving's manipulating a lot, and again, we got most of Tyrell's flashback, but not all of it. We don't know. So there's still stuff. There's still things to fill in there. So there might have been some growing frustration with Elliot. Plus, he had time away from Elliot, and sometimes absence does not make the heart grow fonder. Sometimes it makes the resentment grow larger. Also, Mr. Robot had a great saying in passing. Let's see if I wrote it down right. Remember when it was something to the effect of don't cater a man's oh god.
Oh, about his ego.
Yeah, don't cater a man's best sensibilities because he might not have any. That I wrote it down and I'm gonna hack it up. But that was a great line. It made me stop and write it down, and I can't remember where the hell I wrote it. Go back and watch the damn show. No wiser words have been spoken though, when you can remember them. Marcel 29. This show destroys the lame ass Birch Crap USA does right after the show. Yeah, tell me about it. I am not a fan of a lot of the USA stuff like Suits and some stuff is good. I don't know what the Verge is.
It's kind of like IO9, but kind of lame, if you will. It's one of those.
What do you mean? Like, what is it like? Is it like G4 or something like that, or
it's its own website? And so
it's a website. Okay.
Yeah, so they do news and whatnot, and somehow or another they got the after show for this. And so they bring in people from the show via call-in mostly, and it's fairly lame. I think I watched like 5 minutes of it and I turned it off because it was just that bad.
Yeah, those after show things. I mean, like, I don't want to bash them, but like, they're produced. There's a bunch of money behind those, and it's just they all feel like for lack of a better term, circle jerks. It's just like, hey, here's the actor going, this director was amazing, and it was an amazing episode and amazing writing. I wish they would. The worst one was the Game of Thrones one they did last year. That was after Game of Thrones, and they got two guys from a sports website who didn't know anything about Game of Thrones. It was the worst ever. And I know they took it from Talking Dead. Talking Dead's pretty good, but Dennis has seen behind the scenes.
Yeah, I saw how
it's really scripted. Made. It's super scripted, right?
Yeah, it's very, very massaged. I'll go through very briefly. I went and finally got on the show. They seat us, and then we watched the episode. And then afterwards, we're given like a little card and asked to write down our questions if we have any questions. We pass them up to the front, and then they read through them really quickly, and they pick 5 of them. And they go, okay, who, we write our names down on those as well. They pick us, so we're up at the front, and they brought me, I got picked. They brought us into a room, and they said, okay, well, this question is probably going to be asked. So they rank us like 1 through 5, and we get to sit in the front row. And it's really funny. Even the people that call in, they will use one of those questions that someone has asked, and they will feed it to the person who's called in.
Ugh.
And it's that bad. And if one of our questions already gets asked, they actually have a standby question to the person who is going to go up to the microphone. So I think I was number 2 or 3. I can't remember which one it was. And but you could see me sitting in the front row, back of my head anyway. And
see, that's why Comic-Con is still good, even though the Q&As in Comic-Con are getting shorter and shorter because they were painful. But Dennis and I are going to go up this year. We're going to do we're going to ask some questions, and we're going to ask like awkward ones,
Mm-hmm.
just so we can put it here, have content. But back to this. Yeah, I'll have to check out the show. I watched the After Trek one, which was god awful. But okay, let's go back to the comments here. Did not notice that. Oh wow, did not notice that he said that to both. Perhaps Elliot and Mr. Robot are working together after all. Yeah, I think so.
That could be interesting. That they're working together.
I think they're working together. I would agree with that. That was Marcel 2099. Thank you very much for commenting. Our friend Cy, who subscribed last week, is back. What's up, bud? Love the chess imagery. Angela in all white at the beginning, Elliot in all black. And when Elliot finds Angela with Tyrell, she's wearing black and white. Couldn't tell the. Oh, that is good notice there. I didn't even freaking catch that.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Yes. Wow. Well, you know, that's oh my God. Yeah, that is just I'm forgetting the word for it now. Oh, by the way, I'm going to remember something else. Never appeal to a man's better nature. He may not have one. That's what he said. It was a little throwaway comment that really stuck with me. And aesthetics. Aesthetics is where I took an entire class on aesthetics, but I'm getting old and words are leaving my head. Yeah, great aesthetics. Although they interview Ismail next, which could be interesting. I agree. I want to. Yeah, there's. I've been trying to stay away from interviews, but I do want to see. Do you say Ismail?
I
want to say Sam's email. Sam's email. Smail. Yeah. Yeah, that could be interesting, and I will probably check it out. That'll probably be the first time I watch the show. But there's interviews that they did a set of interviews that's on the USA or Mr. Robot YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Check out his for sure. It's really good. And Darlene's, because then you find out that the girl playing Darlene, what's her name again?
Carly Chaikin.
Yeah, that's how she sounds like in real life. Just got the lower talk like this, like she's from Ventura, you know?
Oh, she is. I think she is from LA.
Oh God, yes, she's from LA. She is from the Valley. I know that accent. All right, everybody. Thanks for commenting, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
And remember, comment on our YouTube channel as well. Once we get this up, I do answer them. Gary answers them as well. And we look forward to actually interacting with you on there. That's we love talking to you about this show because we both love this show. So, you know,
I read them all at work, and I can't answer them all because at work I'm typing a lot, so I just don't have time to type on a phone and type on my computer at work. That's what I'm doing all damn day. And yeah, I do read all your comments. I don't respond to as many as I'd like to. but I'm off for the next few days, so I'm gonna be hitting the comments hard. Yeah, so all of our podcasts, we do a bunch of other shows. We're doing Star Trek Discovery, we're doing The Gifted, we're doing Stranger Things, we're going to be doing The Punisher, we're going to do a quick review of Thor Ragnarok that we just dropped our news podcast a day late, sorry. And we do this show. We do have a schedule now that's on our website, nerdrotic.com. We will be doing Mr. Robot at 9:20 p.m. Pacific every day it airs. Star Trek Discovery is going to be 7:30 Pacific when it airs on Sunday, and Monday is 10:20 Pacific for The Gifted. Stranger Things are going to be pre-recorded, so they're going to drop whenever they drop. All of our links will be in the description. Dennis's Twitter's at DuffForce. Mine is at Nerdrotics. It's plural. Please follow us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We really, your time is more valuable than money. But we do have a Patreon. No levels set up yet. But when we do have it set up, it's going to be, the levels are going to give out, you're going to get stuff like a Loot Crate box, something really fun. So yeah, that is all. Any final words on Mr. Robot, Dennis?
No, just that's really blowing my mind, and I'm hoping it continues that way. And just looking forward to next week's episode, which is a commercial-free episode.
Yes, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis is not he's not easy to please. He's not the easiest pleased person in the world. Okay. I'll just say it for him. It takes a lot for this guy to get excited about anything, a show. So it's kind of fun to see him get like this into a show. It's really cool. I'm totally bought in. And I look forward to this every week. This is, this is becoming my favorite show. So I'll stop rambling on. Thank you again for watching, everybody. Dennis,
Thank you. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, America.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. See you guys next week.
See ya.